Good morning and welcome to the launch of the market forecast. It is Tuesday, July the 20th. As always, I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. We've got always looking for good, accurate context, good risk management, and always focusing on patience. We got a big thing going on here where if you've ever thought about sending Jeff Bezos to space, here's your chance. Looks like they are preparing for liftoff here and looks like just about under 10 minutes. I know the whole world is watching this, but we are also watching the markets as well. As far as economic numbers this morning, 7:30, the housing starts and permits numbers came out. Housing starts a little bit better than expected. Permits a little bit lower. As far as earnings are concerned, Philip Morris out this morning, but later on we've got a big one. Netflix due out after the close, as well as Chipotle and United Airlines. Uncertainty has these markets a little bit on their heels. Global markets have stabilized somewhat after the downside move to the downside yesterday. Basically, kind of being shown as fear of COVID derailing economic recovery. We were noticing things last week in some of the technicals and some things in the profiles that were saying that the upside auction could probably use a little bit of a relief valve to the downside. Sometimes markets have to break before they continue to rally. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. That's what we're here to do, is to try and find ways to look for opportunities to profit. The 10-year note yields tested a 5-month low yesterday with very little recovery in it this morning. The 10-year already moving to the upside again this morning. IBM impressed yesterday as it released and beat expectations. Bitcoin continues to slip a little bit, down about another 3% this morning, down around 29,700. Crude prices await new information, looking like we are testing yesterday's lows right off the open here. Of course, we're going to be looking forward to the API numbers this afternoon, EIA numbers tomorrow. It's been about a 10% drop in crude prices in the last couple of weeks, as COVID again is creating fear of falling demand for crude oil. The VIX is down about 3.5% this morning, down at 21.74 last I checked. We've got the dollar index up slightly at 93.06 and the 10-year yield 1.16%. As always, got to say good morning to everyone. Murph, first in the room. You win the prize this morning. Good morning. I hope it's going to be a fantastic day for everyone. Brian, Tone, Jorg, Bill, Ed Nelson, Scott, Laura, George, Jim, Scott, anybody watching the launch for Bezos? It looks like about 7 minutes to go before that's going to happen. I'll be keeping one eye on the monitor. Of course, everybody wants everything to happen well and for everyone to be safe. Zorain, good morning. Trading Research. Jerry is awake, and I hope John is too. Your great move in gold this morning. A nice little upside move after the opening here. The chef, Mike Magallanes, is here. Vince, good to see you, sir. Lucas, good morning from Poland. Good morning. Drew, John, Tim, Chris, Nico, Deanna, Murph. I win the prize. Yes. Daniel, good day to you. Anthony, good to see you. Daniel, Frederico, and Jason. Buenos Tuesday. All right. So, as seems to be typical right now, I'm having a little bit of problem here in Mission Central here with the charts staying on the program, so I'm going to get things set up here, and we'll jump into the charts here as we get closer to, looks like about 5 minutes before liftoff. We'll probably take a look at that here, at least, kind of watch part of it. I know everybody is fascinated by this and very interested in it, so let's take a look now into the charts for a moment, and we'll see what we're seeing here. Crude oil. Okay, well, obviously, almost a 10-point move to the downside. We've just matched yesterday's low within about 4 ticks, 4 ticks short of it. Last week's state break has been exacerbated by COVID insecurities. Open interest, all of the open interest lost was in the August contract. September actually gained 9,000 contracts on this downside move, indicating money is coming into this on the short side. Huge volume. To be expected. It was a highly emotional day yesterday. So we are in an area here where are we going to put in a base? Are we going to take a day off, a hangover day, as Dan calls them, or are we going to see some continuation to the downside? We've got, one of our last little weakness levels here, a naked point of control that we barreled through yesterday, acting as resistance. Yesterday's low acting as support so far this morning. The market really just opening up. Market just opening with inside of value, inside of yesterday's range. No real overnight inventory. Inside the value area from yesterday, I'm going to stay patient. Remember, yesterday's low acting as support. The naked point of control that we've barreled through yesterday has been presenting as resistance. These will be important levels as we look for opportunities to limit our risk. Okay, 67.29, the overnight high, 65.60, 4 ticks short of yesterday's low. Areas that I'll be kind of looking for opportunities because, as always, we are risk managers first. If I can find ways to get into trades where it's not too far before the point of invalidation, then I'm going to be looking at those opportunities. We got about 3 minutes left before launch. And let's take a look at the E-mini S&Ps here. Okay, so we were looking yesterday at all of the nearby weakness levels that the S&Ps could target. It targeted all of them. We had huge volume yesterday. Open interest increased by about 12,000 contracts. Not that impressive for a move of this magnitude. All of our weakness levels that we pointed out before the open yesterday actually ended up being tested. All of the reachable targets attained. Let's take a look now at the 30-minute chart here briefly. I'm going to see if the ship is going off. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go before the launch. So here was yesterday. We had opened, basically creating a gap, leaving one of these unchecked points of control still unchecked in regular trading hours. The market moved through all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weakness levels before actually finding a base and turning around and heading the other way. What does it mean for us today? It means that I've lost the charts. I'm going to get those up in no time here. Just a little problem here at Mission Control. Working on fixing it. Sometimes it just does not want to cooperate, but here we are. So settlement in the S&P is 42.51. We've got some overnight inventory, perhaps holding to the long side, but not really holding much thought in looking for an opening range or a overnight inventory adjustment back towards settlement. It could certainly happen. There's 100 targets in the range from yesterday. There's also a possibility. I was thinking if we were going to open with a gap that could put us into repair mode, which could actually come up and close this gap. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, at least opening with a gap. Do we have some overnight longs? Debatable. Is this market going to find a hangover day similar to what we were talking about in crude oil? We expended a lot of energy yesterday. There's a lot of targets to be rechecked here today. I'm going to take these and just kind of move them off the future because they've all already been checked in the regular trading hour session. I'm going to try and stay patient today in the S&Ps. There's going to be opportunities, but the where the fish are is a little bit blurry. Let's see what we've got going on. We have 18 seconds before launch. I'm not quite sure what to do here. All right, I'm going to go back and thank you, Scott. Yep. All right, well, I'm going to sit here and kind of keep an eye on this just for a couple of minutes. I know everybody is fascinated by this, and here we go. There's ignition, and there's liftoff. They're off. They're heading higher. It's almost like watching the equities, except for yesterday, of course. They're at 250 miles an hour. 5,000 feet. Boy, that happens fast. If you guys aren't watching it, the sky keeps getting more and more of a deeper blue. Looks like things are going swimmingly so far. 1 minute into the mission, I guess, if you will. I wonder what the conversation is like in the capsule right now. 41,000 feet. 46,000. 50,000. A minute and 30 seconds in. 60,000. They're going 1,000. They're going 1,200 miles an hour. It's getting darker. The sky is getting darker. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Trading research. I don't believe it's even real. I know, right? It seems like science fiction. 170,000 feet high. Unbelievable. Now they're in zero gravity. 250,000 feet high. Under 3 minutes. I can't even. I don't know. I apologize, but I can't look away from this. It's just fascinating and 2-day delivery. Yes, they're getting there pretty quickly. I can't look away. I'm sorry. This is just so fascinating. All right. All right, let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ if we are whoops. $350,000 feet high. Unbelievable. All right, let's go back to business here. I apologize. I know everybody is very fascinated in this, and I'm going to be, of course, keeping an eye on it as we go through this. All right, science is incredible. Yup, he's actually up there. Crazy. There's going to need a telescope to see it now. Absolutely. All right, so here's the Nasdaq. Not as bad a day as the S&Ps did. We had one stage one state break. We found support yesterday at or near weekly kickoff low. Volume was a little bit less impressive, I think, yesterday than in the S&Ps, and we added 4,900 in open interest. That might be some sellers coming into this market, looking for this market to continue its move to the downside. Where are we today? We're pretty centrally located in yesterday's range, and we are similar to what I was thinking for the S&Ps. I'm thinking that we may be in a repair mode here. We've got the market opening with a gap to the upside, which would kind of help us to repair this gap to this low to this high to close this gap. Repair days tend to go point of control to point of control, and we've got points of control naked from what is this Friday, naked from yesterday. So it's going to be you know, a day that I will look for opportunities at that, but that's pretty far away. There's possibly some better opportunities before we get to that level. We have some overnight longs. Whoops. We have some overnight longs. And, they seem to be getting a little bit nervous now. Settlement is all the way down here at 14,540.75. We're watching the vehicle kind of coming back down to earth. You give me see. I want to see if this thing can land as it's supposed to. Maybe we'll see the Nasdaq also coming down to earth. We've got a little bit of a test down here to perhaps try and close the gap. If we can't close the gap relatively early, that's going to push us, potentially for a move in the opposite direction. Again, there's been so much energy spent on the downside here, we may just fall into a hangover type of situation. Here it comes. Unreal. The booster just touched down 7 minutes and about 20 seconds after launch. A little bit of flamage going on there. Just right on the landing pad. This is really incredible. Let's take a quick look at gold. I don't want to go too long here. I know this is fascinating. Here comes the capsule. So, gold short time frame controlled. It's kind of been in short time frame control. We've been in this kind of upside grind. It still remains intact. Very little change in the open interest yesterday, adding 300. No real major players in that move to the upside or back down. It was mostly just short time frame control, little mission control problem here. We've got the capsule coming down. We've got some parachutes. 2,400, 2,300 feet. So, wrestling for direction. No change in the open interest. Short time frame control. Upside grind intact. Look at the 30-minute chart here. If anybody's looking, I know we're all watching to see this thing land. So the opening gap was immediately closed, but finding rejection of yesterday's range and value has pushed us into Friday's range. This high volume node up here and this point of control down here are likely to be targets. So we've got our move up to this high volume node. If we start to base some structure up against this area. I could certainly see a move in the opposite direction as we have some overnight inventory. Um, there's there's a few there's a lot of short time frame levels to view and to look at. I'm going to be trying to find the most important or the furthest away level for execution. Now, this high volume node I would think would be one of those kind of areas where it might not be that obvious, but might be pretty close to one of the opportunities that I'm thinking about. Watching this, and in only 10 minutes, they went all the way up. Boom, there it goes. Capsule touchdown. Boy, that was kind of a hard landing, don't you think? They said it was going to be about 1 mile per hour, but that was a pretty good pop. If NQ comes back into range, it can go all the way through and maybe through value low from yesterday. Murph, that's the value area special situation play. And it is, I believe, we're going to go back and look at this here. I believe a distinct possibility. We opened out of range and out of value, but if we do reaccept inside of value, there's a higher probability of reaching the other extreme of value at some point during the session. Still a ways away, but we see the market kind of coming back towards settlement, so that's certainly a distinct possibility. So, if you all don't mind, I think we're going to call this a forecast. I know we did not get to the euro or to the 10-year, but everybody's so fascinated with this landing and making sure that everything is okay. We're just going to call this a forecast and be ready for the trading day. This was a lot of fun spending this and having the opportunity to kind of talk to you. I know it's kind of one-sided here, but with your comments here, I can see that everybody is really as fascinated with this as I am, and it's going to be we have a trading day every day. We don't necessarily have somebody in a private space vehicle get into space and come back safely. So yeah, we're just waiting for them to get out now. So let's take our deep breath. Say a prayer for world peace for all of us. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Get out there and profit today. Have a good trading day. We should see Dan for the market recap. We'll also be having a coach's playbook this morning. And one last thing, I'm going to put the link in for group coaching, which is tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central. And I look forward to seeing you there. God bless us all, and have a great trading day.